Hey everyone, I am hopping on here today to share a quick message about the upcoming solar eclipse on August 12th. It is a new moon and it'll be taking place in Leo. And just so you're aware, eclipses happen when the sun and the moon align with either the north or south lunar nodes. And the lunar nodes are not celestial bodies in the sky. They don't take up mass, but they are an intersection point between the moon's orbit around the Earth and the Earth's orbit around the sun. So there's a crossroads-like principle to them based on the two most significant, influential bodies affecting life on Earth. So the solar eclipse that's happening on the 12th is in alignment with the south node. So the sun and the moon will be aligning with that south node intersection point. And this carries the themes of release and letting go of past baggage as they relate to Leo. So let's talk about that. The core principle of Leo comes down to this. It is knowing your own importance. Every single one of us has a light in us, a spark of consciousness that's here to create from feelings like joy, love, and passion. Now, everyone's light, everyone's joy, love, and passion looks different. Like, for example, someone could love dirt biking and they get a lot of passion from that activity versus someone else who could spend all day coding and just really love that. While others, maybe it's motherhood or even creating YouTube videos. But it doesn't matter. What matters is, as humans, we all know what it feels like to be passionate about something, to love something, to feel excited by something. And that corresponds with the spark in your heart, with the fire running through your body, and it's here to create. Many of us have a fear or a wound around visibility. And what I mean by that is we are afraid to put ourselves out there, to pursue our passions and our light and our love and our joy, because we have narratives and stories that society won't accept us, that people will reject us, or will be judged or misunderstood. And here's the thing about Leo. There's this essence of living with your heart on your sleeve, like letting your heart guide you in your life. But sometimes that leads us out into vulnerable places. And it can be painful to be rejected or misunderstood by someone. And so what happens to all of us on some level is we diminish, we hide our light, we change ourselves, we mask, we camouflage, we deny these innate sparks in us so that we can be socially digestible. So this is the point of release, of letting go of past baggage or narratives that you've been telling yourself, or even ego dynamics that have been telling you that your innate sparks don't matter, or you have to sacrifice them for social fitting into society. And actually, we trade belongingness for fitting in. And let me tell you, the cost of that is not worth it. And that's really the journey of Leo. And when we let go of, when we basically say this to ourselves, right? We basically say what's most important and most valuable to me is my own light, and sharing my own light and following my love and passion and joy. That's what's more valuable to me than sacrificing it to fit in. We have suddenly discovered our own importance. And I know that this sounds like there could be some ego dynamics here. And in fact, there are. So let's talk about that for a moment. So I want you to think about someone who's had an overinflated ego, and someone who had a deflated ego, basically someone who needed to puff themselves up or make themselves smaller. These are just polar opposites of the same source, if you will. And that is someone not knowing their own significance. Someone who puffs themselves up and like projects this grandiose image and in fact needs other people to see them as someone who's really big doesn't really know it themselves. And on the other side of things too, like someone who just makes themselves smaller, who doesn't know their worth or value, that is the same thing on the other side. Like they do not know their own significance. And it actually, when we do know our own significance, when we're like, wow, okay, my light and my joy and passion and love are here to make the world a better place, and I'm not compromising that. When we belong to ourselves in that way, then, and we know our own significance, we don't need external validation anymore. We don't seek that from other people. And suddenly we can move through experiences that we maybe are rejected or someone does misunderstand us. And we suddenly can move through those dynamics and situations because we ourselves do understand what we're doing and do care about what we're doing. So I think a lot of the, whether it's overinflated ego or deflated ego, really comes from that same place of not knowing your own significance. And it's a pretty high cost to your life in terms of the society that we would all create together if we all, knew our own significance in a healthy way and realize that the cost of sacrificing our light and love and joy is way too high of a cost for fitting into society. So the release point of this Leo eclipse is looking at the ego dynamics and the masks that you currently wear that are basically telling you that your joy, love, and passion don't matter. If you've disconnected from your joy, passion, and love, like you're just living in a place where you don't really feel a lot of passion or joy, then this is a call to really like stir that up again, because it is somewhere. It is absolutely somewhere in your being as a living, conscious being. You have that light, that spark of consciousness in you that will and does get excited about certain things. And so this is an invitation, a journey for you to let go whatever narrative you're telling yourself of why you can't. Realize what's most important is actually following those sparks, following the sparks in your heart, because everything we create from that space is just going to serve society. Leo represents the creator archetype. You know, creativity is also oftentimes associated with Leo. And I want us all to think about ourselves as creative. And you are creating a life. No matter what, being human is to create. So you are a creator and your life is your masterpiece. And for this eclipse season, I want you to ask yourself, does my life as my masterpiece creation reflect my light, or where have I changed that for some other narrative? And the final thing I'll leave you with to consider for this eclipse season is a fun fact about the sun. The sun is made of 98 to 99% helium and hydrogen. And these are the lightest elements in the elemental table. They are associated with the sun and also light and plasma. And so there's something else associated with Leo, and that is playfulness, that's lightness, and that is an element here. I truly believe the more that we connect to our own light, to our heart, to the sun, Leo essence in us, we connect to lightness. And then that invites in play and creativity and imagination, and we kind of stop taking ourselves so seriously. So may you also find the things that lighten your heart, that are fun and playful and fueled by joy and passion. And this eclipse season is about releasing the narratives and ego dynamics that have kept you small and not knowing your own significance. Okay, that wraps it up. If you want to dive into the stars and soul deeper with me, I have a couple things to share. I do a free monthly full moon circle, which you can find information on below. I also do private readings, and I run a moon group. So all the information's below if you want to connect with me further. But thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day and eclipse season.